What is good, everybody? Hugs and hand pounds. I got a good one for today. We are back again talking about the 2021 NFL draft. And the player we are talking about today is Chuba Hubbard. There's a lot to unpack when we talk about Hubbard. So we're going to be giving highlights and lowlights, strengths and weaknesses, a draft grade, and also giving a player comp. So make sure you stick around to the very end. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get to some film. This is one of my favorite runs on Chuba's tape. Is right here he's going to show good vision and good footwork. So if you watch this play from this angle right here, you see that there's a hole right there that a lot of backs would just hit and they would hit hard. But then he kind of out of the corner of his eyes, he sees the pursuit coming and cuts back against the grain. This right here, this is why you have to love Chuba Hubbard. I mean, the guy is an absolute home run hitter and you will not catch him. But also, he shows a good job of getting skinny through the hole, breaking an arm tackle, and not slowing down. Next one, not only is a home run hitter, but this is actually a really good read of going back against the grain. So you have to love that as well to go along with that game break. After seeing those highlights, you see exactly what there is to love about Chuba. Three strengths for Chuba that I'm going to talk about. One, the dude is an absolute fantastic athlete. Home run hitter, might be the most explosive back in this year's draft. My second strength is he's a great fit for any zone running team. That's primarily what he ran at Oklahoma State, so he's ready to do that in the NFL. Number three ties in with number one is he can change the game in one touch. So whether it's catching a pass or a carry, he can absolutely change the landscape of a game with one play. Let's go to the other side when we talk about weaknesses. Well, one of the things that I see is when I look at his 19 tape versus his 20 tape, I didn't see a lot of improvements that he made in the offseason. The flaws that show up in 19 are still there in 20. Of my three weaknesses for Chuba, number one is he does not seem interested in pass protection. This seems like something that he does because he has to. It doesn't seem like something that he really has interest in doing. Two, Chuba's a little bit raw as a pass catcher. We haven't really seen him run any routes besides swing passes and flat routes or screens. So with that being said, is I don't know how he's going to develop as a receiver. It does seem like he has naturally soft hands, which is good, of course, but all we can do is really predict what he'll develop into as a receiver. My third weakness for Chuba is the most important to me, really, is I feel like he relies too heavily on being a great athlete than a great running back. And here's what I mean by that. This is the kind of play that causes me intrepidation when talking about Chuba Hubbard. Is right here, you look at this play and you think, man, that's a hard run by a speed back. But when you take a closer look, right there is a clear cutback lane that he misses. And when he tries to make the cut, his footwork is not sharp enough, so he runs into his own blocker. When you get to the next level, I don't know if he's going to be able to make those plays. If you watch Chuba's footwork, a lot of time it's pretty sloppy. You see him cutting off his inside foot instead of his outside foot, which can lead to him slipping and falling. His vision is very hit and miss. As a zone runner, you want to follow the three Bs, and that is bounce, bang, or bend. And a lot of times, Chuba is in between the bounce and the bang, which kind of causes me a little bit of intrepidation that the speed of the NFL defensive linemen and linebackers will come up to catch him. Of the backs that we've talked about so far, this was the hardest player that I had to come up with a player comp. But when I look at a best case scenario and a worst case scenario, I actually use the same player for Chuba Hubbard's comparison. And that is Lamar Miller. And here's what I mean by that. Lamar coming out of Miami was a fantastic athlete. We saw him kind of play second fiddle there for a while in the NFL, and then he started blowing up on the scene with the Miami Dolphins. He ended up getting a lead role with the Houston Texans and just never lived up to his contract. I'm hoping Chuba ends up being better than Lamar Miller, but I see a lot of those same kind of running styles, explosive, kind of, raw as a receiver. And I just don't know if he'll ever take that next step in the evolution of his game. But right now, the best case scenario for Chuba, in my opinion, is to kind of almost play a similar role what Latavius Murray's playing in New Orleans, where he's a guy that gets 8 to 10 carries a game, a change of pace back, can be a home run hitter. And like I said, I want him on my team. I just don't think he'll ever be a lead back in the NFL. My overall grade for Chuba Hubbard is a C. And I really debated this one. This one was hard for me. I really see Chuba really blowing up the combine if there's going to be one with his athletic performance. He's so explosive that he's going to blow up the vertical, the broad jump, the 40. And with that being said, is if he sneaks into that second round, that's just too high of a price. I have Chuba as a third, maybe early fourth round pick. The next two running backs I'm breaking down, I'm going to UNC, and I'm talking about Javonte Williams and Michael Carter. Those will be coming later this week. So make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss those videos. And if you like this episode, make sure you click the like button to help support the show.